Hi everyone, hope you're having a good day. I've got a little bit of a different video for you today, hopefully not as long as some of my previous ones. It's actually to talk about this little spinner here. So it's a very inexpensive spinner, I think known by different names because basically it's a cheap spinner, but it appears to be stainless steel. It's a retention system, and I know it as the Fox Tri-Spinner. I think, it has had other names because different sellers call it different things. But it's actually, I've seen it around on the groups and people really praise it. I don't really know anything about it really. I just saw that it was a recommended spinner, for something cheap. The spin is actually absolutely beautiful on it. Very silent bearing that comes with it. Yeah, so I thought, well, I'll try and get one. They're not sold in the UK anymore on Amazon, but they used to be. I ended up getting one from Amazon.com, so from the States for about $20, I think. And I've also found two more on AliExpress for even cheaper. So they can still be found, but I know that posts on the groups, have gone back years, so these have been around for quite a while. But yeah, again, I don't really know any history on them. Now the bodies are mirror polish, fingerprint magnet, but the buttons seem to be a bit more machine finished. So the ones I got from AliExpress, so the two I got from AliExpress, just came as is with a little, either a drawstring pouch or a case, because they came in different packaging. I got them from two different sellers to see if I actually got the item I ordered, because that's an issue with AliExpress, as I'm sure you all know. So those two didn't come with a tool, but the one I got from Amazon, which was this one, actually came with a tool and a spare bearing. So I paid a little bit more for that one, but then you get the extra parts. So I thought, because I've seen this on the groups as well, it's not new, people have already done this before me. People have been sort of, DIY stonewashing these. And some of the results that I saw on the groups are actually really good. And I thought, you know what, it's cheap. I'm going to give it a go, because there's some other things I would like to stonewash if I can develop that technique myself. So I did give it a go. Now I thought, okay, I'm going to try it the old-fashioned way and literally just get a container. So I do ceramics, so I've got an old glaze pot, which was perfect for that because it's quite strong plastic, it's leak-proof, and it's fairly big, so stuff can move around in it a lot. So I used that, and then I literally bought some ceramic media. Now I know a lot of people can use stones, rocks out of their garden, but I wanted something that was a bit more consistent, and my background in ceramics, I can appreciate the abrasive and the strength of ceramic media. So I think I just bought this off Amazon. These are really small little triangles. And I just use those, really. I have since bought some larger pieces as well on eBay from a UK seller, but when I first tried this out, I think I just bought this. Tried to find them cheap because the media isn't cheap. I know there have been some warnings against using aquarium stones as well, because they're a bit more brittle and they're a bit too abrasive. They're not really meant for this, but I don't know, you could try it, but if you're interested, but I don't know, I saw that it wasn't recommended, so anyway, I didn't fill the pot. You need them to move around, you need the stuff to move around in there, so I just literally put some of the media in with the pieces of the spinner. So what I did, so this is the one I did by hand. I obviously removed that screw out of there, just blocked the hole with the threads with a bit of blue tack, and then just covered these parts with nail varnish on both sides. Obviously took the bearing out and the what was it, the retention cap or whatever you call it, took that out and painted nail varnish on the threads because I didn't want to damage the threads. Yeah, I didn't think it was wise because obviously that's very fine machine work. So I did that obviously prior to actually starting any stonewashing, and the nail varnish isn't going to be affected by the water. So because I put a little bit of water in with this when I was doing it, because I don't think, I didn't think it would be a good idea to do it dry. So all I did was shake, and I'll call that the South Park Sharon Marsh shake weight technique. Except I didn't get a cooling spray or the taxi cab fare. Sorry, that's if you get that reference, you're awesome. But yeah, it took me, I think, I did the buttons separately because I didn't want them bashing. I didn't want the body bashing on the buttons. Really, I did do them separately. I do have 2 pots of these, so I was able to, a bit like maracas, maybe, well, how many hours was it? It was about 3 or 4 hours, I think. I didn't particularly find it tiring because I didn't find you needed to do it rigorously, just keeping it moving, keeping it shaking. It makes a lot of noise, and I just found it more inconvenient because then you can't really do anything while you're doing it. So, yeah, you could sit in front of the telly or something like that, but I don't actually watch TV. So, I just found that I couldn't really do much while I was doing that. It was really boring, and inconvenient. But I have to say, if I'm allowed to say so myself, the results were really, really nice. And basically my whole reason for doing this is I wanted a cheap spinner to take to work. I should have mentioned that in the beginning. I don't want to take one of my nice spinners because it's just going to get bashed up, scratched, dropped, everything. So I thought this was well recommended on the groups. It's inexpensive. It seems to be solid stainless steel. It's a project, I can stonewash it and I can take it to work. So great. The only thing that's annoying is I could not get rid of that Fox logo, which I don't really like. I mean, yes, I could get better buttons for this. I know someone on the groups put Unquiet Hands buttons on it, and it looks absolutely lovely, but the button costs more than the spinner. So in the efforts of keeping this budget, I wanted to leave it stock. And I've got small fingers anyway, so I don't really have problems with this button. But it is just annoying. I could not get rid of that Fox. Maybe if I continued, I might be able to eventually get rid of it, but it was, I think the difference between 2 hours and 3 hours was not that much in terms of it fading away. So I was checking it every hour for science. I've given up at this point and I've just left it as is. Now, it's got a very long spin as well, the bearing that's in it. I will probably get some more Unquiet Hand bearings so that I can get a bit more feedback and sound. But yeah, I was really pleased with this, I have to say. Very happy with that kind of finish. And because I did that, I thought, you know what? I want to continue doing this. I want to stonewash some other things as well. And I think I liked that one so much, I ended up not wanting to take it to work. I decided I'm going to get another one and I'll take that one to work. So, and also I wanted to do one as a gift for a friend. So, I bought a rock tumbler from a UK manufacturer because I figured out if I want to do more of this stuff, it's really not convenient doing it by hand. I bought one from, I think they're called Beach Lapidary Limited in the UK. I bought it from a museum actually up in Scotland that basically sells them. So it's very hard to find rock tumblers in the UK. Most of the ones I found were just those National Geographic branded ones that were on Amazon. I don't know how good they are or how well they're going to hold up to continued use. So I just thought, well, I'm going to go with one that's made, for actual, hobbyists, I guess, not for kids. I don't know. And it came with a 5-year warranty, so I can't argue with that. So, yeah, I think in America you've got Harbor Freight and Lawtone. I think tumblers that you can get that are much more widely available, but they're just not available over here, so they're quite hard to find. So anyway, this was my attempt in the tumbler. As you can see, I still can't get rid of that fox logo. Again, I could probably leave it for longer, but I think it's had enough, to be honest. And yeah, nice finish yet again. I actually put the buttons and the body in together. The container's about a £3 container. I used both size media this time, so I used the small stuff and I used the larger stuff to upset the motion a little bit more, because it spins at quite a slow speed, which is good for tumbling, but I needed to upset the motion, so the bigger ones helped with that. And I just put them all in again, nail varnish on the threads and all the important bits that I didn't want to damage, and yeah, came out pretty well, I think. But it took a lot longer, so a bit of a trial and error, because I was checking it every 3 hours or so. Probably about 16 or 17 hours in total, but I think if I perfected my technique, or perfected what I was putting in it, then I could probably slim that down a little bit. This was a lot of trial and error. I've never used a tumbler before, but yeah, I'm pleased with that. So just goes to show that actually, I think this one actually came out smoother, but that's probably because I didn't use the larger media. I just used the small media with this one. So if you want to stonewash stuff at home, I'm not an expert. I'm not talking from an expert point of view, but if you want to go this Sharon Marsh shake weight route and do it DIY for just a one-off item, it's totally doable. Inconvenient, but doable. If you want to do more items, then invest in a rock tumbler maybe. You can get those tumblers that are, well, they're not tumblers really, but I guess I'll call them tumblers, but those vibrating ones, they look really cool, and I've heard a lot, obviously professionals use them, but they are so much money. I can't invest in one of those for just one-off projects. So rock tumbler did fine for me, which was under £100. So yeah, very pleased with that. So basically I wanted to do this video before I chucked this one in the tumbler, because I just wanted to show the difference. So these were all the same finish, all that mirror polish, and yeah, managed to get it in that stonewash finish. And like I said, this isn't a new thing. People have done it on the groups before and with other spinners as well, but I just wanted to share the results there between the shake weight technique and the tumbling technique. The results pretty much the same. So yeah, and it's an excellent spinner. I'm really pleased with it. I was actually using it for quite a long time actually, and yeah, I was so happy with this one, the shake weight one, that I thought, oh, I don't want this to go to work, I don't want this to get messed up, so then I ended up buying more. So it's a decent spinner. If you know any history behind them, then please leave any comments down below. Again, I don't really know much about them apart from the fact that a lot of people recommended them on the groups and that they're inexpensive. If you've done any stonewashing, have any tips to share for others, or share with me anything that I could do to improve, I would welcome that as well. Thank you very much. Just a little bit of a comparison there. So there's my Feifei EDC origin. There's the Focusworks Micro S. These are all stainless steel, by the way. And the one and only Unquiet Hand Sage, which I love. Absolutely love this spinner. It's the best. Best ever. Anyway, so yeah. And if you've done stonewashing before, how did you find it? especially if you did it the Sharon Marsh shake weight way. So yeah, have a lovely day, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.